access after paying for specific courses or demonstrating a sufficient amount of loyalty to either L. Ron Hubbard or the new guy, who we'll talk about pretty soon. The system is not just about spiritual progression, it is about information security and controlling that information and controlling the people of the organization. One interesting factoid is that the church justifies its extreme level of secrecy with seductive logic. You see, unprepared minds like mine and yours could be harmed by exposure to higher level teachings. For example, what happens when you tell a normal person that Xenu's real and you're a trillion years old? They're gonna go, "Oh!" As L. Ron Hubbard once wrote, "Attempting to instruct a student in the upper levels when he hasn't mastered the basics is like trying to teach calculus to somebody who hasn't learned simple arithmetic." Thank you, L. Ron Hubbard. That's very very elaborate. I really appreciate it. But that's pretty seductive though. Seems cool. Well, you can't learn this because your head will explode if you try to learn it. So yeah, pretty seductive, pretty reasonable, pretty logical, until you discover what those upper levels actually contain. The journey begins fairly innocently enough, learning how to smile, all that stuff, study techniques, basic auditing, which is the e-meter thing. These introductory materials are labeled Division 6 content and are relatively inexpensive, and they contain little that would raise anyone's eyebrows. As members progress, they move from being pre-clear to clear, which is a term you've probably heard of if you've ever heard of anything that has anything to do with Scientology. Supposedly, clear people are free from the negative effects of their reactive mind, which is the base human mind. Achieving clear status typically costs between $30,000 and $50,000, but when you reach clear, it is just the beginning of the real Scientology journey. At this point, your brain will no longer fucking explode when you hear about Xena, my grandmother's dog or whatever. It's the nipple, the tip of a very, very expensive, insane iceberg. This is where the organization's most closely guarded secrets reside. The levels, particularly OT3, contain the infamous Xenu story, a galactic dictator who allegedly brought billions of aliens to Earth 75 million years ago, placed them around volcanoes, and then blew them up with hydrogen bombs. Then the disembodied spirits of these aliens, called body thetans, supposedly attach to humans today and cause our problems. Get off my back, you disgusting beast! Before accessing the OT Xenu materials, members must sign very restrictive confidentiality agreements. Ones like this. I don't know, that might just be a template one, or that could be an actual Scientology one. You read it and decide. According to former high-ranking Scientologist Mike Rinder, these documents include clauses that make members liable for $100,000 in damages for each unauthorized disclosure. And the church has aggressively litigated against people who've published these materials, claiming both copyright infringement and religious persecution. The extreme secrecy extends beyond just the paperwork to Scientology's physical facilities. The organization's most sensitive sites, particularly those housing OT materials, employ elaborate security measures that would impress even a government intelligence agency or the Vatican. Remember that video I made about that? Remember that? Former members like Bobby Dark Chocolate have described fingerprint scanners, motion detectors, multiple security checkpoints, and 24-hour camera surveillance. The church's gold base, this compound in California, is surrounded by spiked fences, motion sensors, and security patrols, which doesn't just keep outsiders from getting in, it also keeps insiders from getting out. Pretty interesting stuff. The church is very serious about preventing those insiders from getting out, especially with sensitive materials.